Okay, good morning, everybody. Before I start, I just want to acknowledge that we've lost a member of our community, an alumnus of ours, a student who graduated in 2016, Greg DeFunk, who was a really promising cyclist and somebody that a lot of us remember very fondly, died in a road accident on Friday evening. And our love and our thoughts and our prayers go out to him and his family. Now, the message for this morning is related to this question of love, and it's in the context of school spirit. I hear quite often that people say, well, we need to build more school spirit at Somerset College, and perhaps in comparison to some other schools, we don't have that kind of spirit. So I wanted to introduce a couple of thoughts for us to reflect on in relation to this idea of what it means to have school spirit. So firstly, do you think that we should have pride and spirit in a school where there's an Olympic athlete per decade, nationally renowned visual and music artists, more than a dozen primari of university residences, a billionaire alumni at some of the world's best universities, including Yale, St. Andrews, Durham, and Brown, a campus endowed with natural beauty and facilities that most of the world's population can only dream of, teachers and students capable of adapting so rapidly and effectively to change that academic progress can go pretty much unimpeded by a global pandemic and lockdown, teachers and students who spend their free time teaching students from under-resourced schools, raising money for under-resourced communities, students and teachers who critically challenge the status quo, demand justice, and work hard to accomplish it, a school that has built quite possibly the world's premier outdoor adventure event for schools, and all this in just 23 years, and the list goes on and on. If those aren't sources of pride enough for you to think of this place as a place where we should have school spirit, I want to introduce a thought from a renowned psychologist called M. Scott Peck, who wrote a book called The Road Less Traveled. And he starts out that book talking about discipline and the importance of discipline in ensuring that we make spiritual progress as people, and therefore that we live fulfilled and happy lives. So I'm going to read you a section from that book which transitions from him dealing with discipline to him dealing with the question of love and defining it. So he says, discipline, it has been suggested, is the means of human spiritual evolution. This section will examine what lies in the back of discipline, what provides the motive or the energy for discipline. This force I believe to be love. I am very conscious of the fact that in attempting to examine love, we will be beginning to toy with mystery. In a very real sense, we will be attempting to examine the unexaminable and to know the unknowable. Love is too large, too deep, ever to be truly understood or measured or limited within the framework of words. I would not write this if I did not believe the attempt to have value, but no matter how valuable, I begin with a certain knowledge that the attempt will be in some ways inadequate. One result of the mysterious nature of love is that no one has ever, to my knowledge, arrived at a truly satisfactory definition of love. In an effort to explain it, therefore, love has been divided into various categories: eros, philia, agape, perfect love and imperfect love, and so on. I am presuming, however, to give a single definition of love, again with the awareness that it is likely to be in some way or ways inadequate. I define love thus: the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Thus defined, you could say that love in a school is surely the sum of the love that every one of us brings to bear in the space. And the question then is, what will you and what will I bring to bear as we enter the last quarter of 2021? Will we sit back and wait for someone else to generate love for us, or love in us, or love around us? Or will we take responsibility for extending our own egos for the purpose of nurturing our spiritual growth and the growth of others? Will we extend our ego boundaries to encompass others and to encompass more? Or will we just sit back and consume? And that's the great temptation of a school as privileged as ours, that we should take all of these resources and opportunities for granted, that we should expect that others should just furnish more opportunity for us, and somehow put us on a conveyor belt that will get us to our end goals. That can never be, that can never happen. We, no matter how many resources we have around us, have to take hold of those resources and make use of them to extend ourselves so that we can achieve mastery, we can achieve the extension of our skills and abilities and knowledge, and ultimately our capacity to love ourselves and love those around us. So thanks for listening to me and my few thoughts on love and how it relates to school spirit, and I hope that you have a wonderful week.